What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Luis Severino served up a couple meatballs to his old teammates, and then he put his foot completely in his mouth by calling out his brand new team after they gave him $70 million, and he called them out for the dumbest reason ever. I think he's just trying to get traded. The Mets are going through one of the worst stretches in their franchise's history, and same with the Guardians. They're in the trenches as well. Like I'm talking about, they are also in the midst of one of their worst stretches in the entire existence of their franchise. Tarik Skubal was out of his mind again. I know there's a few other people in contention to win Cy Young, but it would not shock me at all if he went off for 3 or 4 in a row. And we have a brand new catch of the year candidate down in Baltimore. Colton Cowser, he got up there. So again, we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap, where we recap every single baseball game almost every single day. So grow the game of baseball with me. Hit that subscribe button. And also, don't forget that recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Save yourself 20 bucks off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy. And if you've never tried Underdog Fantasy, all you have to do is download it with code Fuzzy and you unlock a bunch of free stuff. You're welcome. No, we got some breaking news. Jeremy Peña, who was on pace for one of the greatest 5-tool seasons by a shortstop, ever. He has a fractured rib, but he might not miss a ton of time according to the Astros. They're saying it could be a pain tolerance thing and that he could be back in 2 weeks, but again, he has a fractured rib. He was on pace for 21 home runs, 29 stolen bases, 200 base hits because he's batting .322, and also because of his defense, he was on pace for an 8 F4. I mean, again, that's one of the greatest 5-tool seasons ever. So prayers up to Jeremy Peña. Hope that he comes back soon. I feel like when something happens for the first time since Barry Bonds, we have to talk about it first. So the Nationals, they went up 1, but only 1 because they lost their challenge and manager on the same play. Jacob Young, he was called out, and then it was confirmed that he was out. Joe Adell, he just secured an 11-game hitting streak. It has been so cool to see him kind of finally living up to the expectations that we had years ago. Rookie Christian Moore has a lot of expectations on his shoulders as well. He lines one over CJ. That's his 5th go-ahead RBI his first 16 games. Both teams kind of got gift wrapped a few runs. CJ, he was gifted an RBI double from the baseball gods that was right in the sun. The Angels, they were given the lead back on a wild pitch, but here's the thing. The Nationals, they spoiled Kenley Jansen's bid at save number 463. Jacob Young went up the middle. This game needed extras, 11 to be exact. Drew Millis, he sliced a double to left field, and CJ Abrams, he pulled it down the right field line, and Kyle Finnegan was a dog. 3 no-hit innings to end it. The Nationals take it 7-4. Now, what was the history and first time since Barry Bonds? What was it? James Wood, we didn't get to see him. That's because he got intentionally walked 4 times. 4 times in one game. He got the Barry Bonds treatment. He has 7 walks his last 3 games. The kid's on pace for 41 doubles, 21 stolen bases, over 100 walks, just insane talent because he also has 6 defensive run saves and 1 outs above average. So the defense is coming along as well. By the way, Taylor Ward had 3 doubles in that game. Just shows how much of a team game baseball is. We're going to talk about the Yankees game right after this potential walk-off. Xander, he just got his 5th home run to go. That was the only run allowed by the starter, Nick Lodolo. Ellie, he tied it a few innings later. He got one past the diving. I thought it was Manny at first. That is Jose Iglesias. Manny was actually DHing in this game. The Padres, they took the lead back 5 minutes later. Jose Iglesias, he put it in play. There was a do-or-die double play, and Jose just beat it out. Nando, he scores for the go-ahead. Remember, though, there might have been a walk-off. Ellie, he got blessed after Tyler Wade had a little misplay. I think that's a misplay 100%. I mean, he's a big leaguer. He has to make that play. Manny, maybe I'm just delusional after watching him play third the last decade. He makes both plays that Ellie had off the bat. Yikes, Gavin Lux took a walk. Ellie's at second. And the man who rakes stayed raking. Ellie, he's one of maybe 3 or 4 humans who can score on that play. You can't run on Tatis. So Jose Trevino, he singles to load them up. And Will Benson, you already know he's about to go crazy. After he walks it off, yep, you can see as he's rounding first base, he's yelling. The Reds are 44-40. The Padres are now 45-38 because they're just 20-24 on the road. So we've already talked about the 6'7", get the memes out the way, James Wood in this video. He was deemed the lefty Aaron Judge because the crazy hit tools, his height. Let's go find Judgy and his boys going off against the A's, and then we'll talk about Severino, the former Yankee, calling out his new team, the A's. I mean, as I've been yapping, Jazz Chisholm Jr. literally can knock it out. He homered and tripled all within the first 3 frames. He has 13 home runs, and then later in the game, it was a base clearing triple. He then scored on a wild pitch, so literally all of the first 5 runs for the Yankees involved Jazz Chisholm Jr. He is a real-life firecracker. Aaron Judge, that is number 29, and of course, it's off of Sevy. The A's got 1 back on a home run from the rookie catcher Willie McIver. That was the only run that Marcus Stroman allowed. I'm just going to cut to this belly bomb because there was a really cool moment. So Bellinger, he crushed his 10th home run. He gave a fist bump to a kid in the stands after the home run, and that's because before he hit the home run, he gave that kid a fist bump, which was not the first time it's happened. Earlier in the year, Bellinger gave that same kid a fist bump, and then he went yard. So for the second time, that kid giving Bellinger a fist bump resulted in a home run. So he's literally a good luck charm. I love it. The A's found a way to scratch a few home, but none of it mattered. Judgy hit his second of the game. He joins Cal as the only two dudes in baseball in the 30 home run club. By the way, that ball went 426 feet. It's a fat 12 spot for the Yankees. Aaron Judge is on pace, I can't believe this, for 215 base hits, 59 home runs, and a 12.5 F4. 12.5. All right, now it's time to talk about Luis Severino kind of being a hypocrite. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of delusional to hear him say these quotes, but all right, here's what happened. So Luis Severino, he signed a crazy 3-year, $70 million contract with the A's. Everyone was like, what did the A's just do? They clearly overpaid because John Fisher, the owner of the A's, had to make the rest of the league happy because, I mean, he was in danger of being sued for, I can't remember the word. I just remembered it is filing a grievance. But back to Luis Severino, he is kind of teeing off on the A's because of the ballpark that they play in when they're in Sacramento. So their home ballpark obviously is a AAA ballpark. He straight up said that it feels like spring training. Not a lot of fans go to the game. The home clubhouse, and I think just the clubhouse for both squads, is in left field. So if you have to go to the bathroom or you want a break, you have to go literally to left field, and there's no AC in the dugout. But my thing is, yeah, that all might be right, but first and foremost, the other teams also have to deal with it. And you, sir, Luis Severino, took $70 million knowing that this was going to be your situation, and now you want to complain? This, to me, doesn't make any sense because he chose to take that money. He's clearly overpaid. He's kind of scamming the A's. He's been an absolute trash can at home, and to me, I just feel like he has absolutely no right to complain. Yes, it's a terrible situation. I do feel bad for A's players who finally get to make their MLB debuts after training their entire life, and they have to play in a AAA ballpark when they just came from a AAA ballpark. And, I mean, the Vegas ballpark is nicer, let's face it. But still, you took $70 million to go play for this team knowing what was ahead of you. So now that you're complaining about the clubhouse, you knew it. Like, in my opinion, shut up. All right, moving on after getting a little bit steamy. Usually we talk about the Mets after Yankees games, but with Cal being the destroyer of worlds and making the MVP race a whole lot closer, I want to see what he did. Then we'll talk about the Mets maybe getting swept by the Pirates. This game needed extras because Josh Young and Mitch Garver had RBI singles, and that was it through the first 9 as Luis Castillo and Jack Leiter, they combined for 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, just the 2 runs. We're skipping to the 10th. What's the update on Cal Raleigh? He kind of got the James Wood treatment. He was walked intentionally twice. There wasn't a single highlight from Cal, but at least his buddies clutched up. So there's Donnie Barrels with the RBI single. I guess there's a low light from Cal. He got thrown out at home. Alejandro Ozuna kept it a 1-run game with that seed from left. Garver, his second RBI made it 3-1, which means that he ruined the Seager walk-off. So he saved his first hit of the game for a perfect moment. Corey Seager goes yard. The only problem is Donovan Solano grabbed another RBI after Josh Young kind of double clutched it. Now, even if he didn't and it was thrown home, Garver, he would have won it anyways because we got to welcome back Mitch Garver. 440 feet, a 4 RBI explosion in his old ballpark. He has 10 RBIs while batting .350 his last 6 games. Please be the awakening that we've been waiting for since he signed. The Mariners are 43-40. The Rangers are 41-43. Even with that win, the Mariners are still 6.5 games back of the Astros because the Astros are on an absolute warpath as of, 35 games? They're 25-10 their last 35 games. They just threw their 5th shutout of the month of June. Some teams don't even have a 5 all year. I mean, you're looking at Framber Shred. It's still crazy that they got him for $10,000 back in 2014. He's out after striking out 6. He leaves with his 9th W after Jose Altuve handed Jameson Taillon his 6th loss. That's Altuve's 13th home run. He's at 2,313 base hits. Can he get to 3,000? You guys have to let me know. Brian Abreu, this guy has been prime Dellin Betances. 4 more strikeouts over 2 no-hit frames. He has 16 strikeouts his last 7 innings. Hader is 23 for 23 in saves. They both have a sub 1.7 ERA. So basically, if you're losing against the Astros after 8, it is over. The Astros are now 50-34, so they joined the 50-win club. They beat Chicago to 50, which is kind of crazy. The Cubs are 49-35. The Cubs did have a pretty hot start to 2025, but they're under 500 their last 10 games. Same with the Mets, but like way under 500 over their last 15 games or something stupid like that. Frank the Tank got to be steaming angry on Twitter. Ke'Bryan Hayes has been 20-20 Ke'Bryan since mid-June. I don't know what's gotten into him, but that was a 2-run single. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. He had 3 more base hits. O'Neal Cruz, more like, oh my God, what a cruise missile. 112 off the bat of his first home run. Tommy Pham, that's his 2nd of the last week. He had 0 home runs his first 3 months. Again, he's got 2 the last week. Maybe he's waking up. Luis Torrens, Tip of the cap, the only highlight for the Mets all game. Brian Reynolds, he said, I'm going to be taking that back. His 10th home run steals that run back. He has 6 RBIs his last 3 games. O'Neal Cruz, he smoked his 2nd of the game. The Buccos, the Pirates, just swept the Mets. The Mets, they dropped to an awful 6 games under 500 on the road. They are now 3-13 since June 13th. They have a 6.35 ERA the last 15 days. That is the worst in baseball. What's the fix for the Mets? Do they have to make some trades? Do they have to call back up a few guys and trust them that maybe it was a rough stretch? What is going on with the Mets? 3-13 is crazy. So the Twins are actually second to dead last in terms of ERA over the last 2+ weeks, which isn't great considering they now have to face Tarik Skubal. This guy is ridiculous. He had 2 strikeouts in the first. He's got some emotion behind these pitches as well. Scary Carey, that's his 16th home run. He has back-to-back 2-hit games with the home run. Skubal is already at 4 strikeouts, make it 5 after striking out Harrison Bader. He's feeling himself, and it's just one of those GG's kind of games where you have to accept your fate. He struck out the side again in the very next frame. Riley Green, I mean, this is a meatball changeup right in his swing path. That's his 19th home run. Carey, he laced an RBI triple, which is cool and all. I mean, Colt Keith scores, but Carey had to leave with a hamstring issue. I'm hoping that he's going to be okay. Tarik, he was tossing those unhittable changeups into the 7th. He ended 7 innings with his 13 strikeout, 100 miles an hour on his final pitch. He has a 2.3 ERA. His last 301 innings with 366 strikeouts. He's 10-2. Who's taking home the Cy Young? Skubal, Crochet, Fried, Hunter Brown, maybe a sneaky guy like Carlos Rodon? Okay, I don't know if Rodon really has a chance or not, but I wanted to throw him out there because it's a perfect transition. His former teams are facing off. The Giants, they're trying to avoid losing back-to-back against the dreadful White Sox. You got JV versus Jonathan Cannon, so a lot of career starts versus not a lot of starts. Former Giant Tachman, he doubled. He came around to score after Benintendi lifted a sac fly. Cannon wasn't his sharpest self, but he was returning from the IL. Patrick Bailey doubled, and then the Sox almost stole it back, but Jung-Hoo Lee, he ran forever to snag it in center field. The Giants actually went up 1 on a Willy Adames bases loaded walk, so things are looking pretty good for the Giants, especially with JV locking in and going 6 innings. He ends it with a strikeout. He's now in line for career win number 263. Well, he was rookie Kyle Teal. He turned on a pitch to plate 2. Ryan Walker, the reliever for the Giants, has been terrible this year. He allowed that double, and then he balked, which might have not been his fault because it was raining all day. Maybe he just flat out slipped. Lenyn Sosa, he blooped in the final run in a 4-run 7th as Mike Vassell, he secured a 2nd save. The Giants have lost 2 in a row. They're 4-6 their last 10. Arizona is going through a similar rough patch as the Giants, only theirs could be a 4-game losing streak, which by the way would mean Miami would win 7 in a row. Augustine, he's thinking 3. That's his first career triple. He can really motor for a catcher. Gino, he couldn't throw out Wagaman to keep it scoreless, so it would have been the 3rd out. Instead, that run goes to the Marlins. Good thing Jake the Rake and Ketel Marte had Gino's back. Jake matched Augustine with the triple. He's heating up, and Ketel, he's been red hot since the jump. That's his 5th home run his last 9 games. He has 17 home runs in just 57 games this year. On top of that, he has a 405 on base and a 177 OPS plus. Otto Lopez, this guy might actually be the real deal. He has 15 RBIs his last 7 games, huh? Kyle Stowers, he hit a rare ground ball triple. He hit it so hard that it still found its way all the way to the track. That is a base clearing double. He has 6 extra base hits and 8 RBIs his last 5. The Marlins do in fact win their 7th in a row. Ronnie Henriquez, he got his 3rd save. He has 55 strikeouts in 40 innings. The Diamondbacks have lost 4 games in a row. They're back under 500 after fighting the way back over 500. Earlier, I forgot to mention that Detroit is now 53-32, same as the Dodgers after they yet again beat the struggling Royals. It was all LA after Bobby poked the bear with an RBI double. Enrique Hernandez hammered out his 8th home run. He sees it very well out the hand of Chris Buich. Will Smith got one to go as well. It's so weird to say that he hit a baseball 421 feet, but it barely left. That's how big the outfield is in Kansas City. Max Muncy, he scored Andy Pages. Pages is now hitting 291 in his 2nd year as a big leaguer. Miguel Rojas, he squeaked one past Bobby, so it's 5-1 for the rookie Justin Robleski, who carved his way through 6 shutout after following the opener, 6 strikeouts as well. He has a 2.3 ERA since allowing 8 runs and a dog walking in his first game of the year. An easy breezy game. They're 21 games over 500 just like the Tigers. The Royals are 6 games under 500. Cags might get sent down. Mark Canha's been the worst player in baseball. Canha has 4 RBIs in 44 games. That's pitiful. He might just have to retire. It's so bad. Cleveland is no different when it comes to words to describe their play. They've also just straight up been pitiful. You got to tip your cap to the Cardinals pitching staff because they just threw back-to-back beauties. This one from Matthew Liberatore. I mean, at this point, you just got to tip your cap to the Cardinals pitching staff because they've thrown some beauties against the Guardians. This one's from Matthew Liberatore. He's up 3-0 on a majestic Nolan Gorman blast, and the lefty made it even more impressive. He had 27 home runs 2 years ago, so he's finally kind of waking up. Libby, he tapped out Angel Martinez to escape the bases out of jam, and it was easy pickings from there. He struck out 6. He blanked the Guardians across 6, just 3 base hits allowed. He's down to a 3.7 ERA after really struggling his first 3 seasons. He had an almost 5 ERA with only 150 strikeouts his first 180-ish big league innings, so he's really turning it around. Victor Scott, this is not easy because Hunter got his shreds. He got his hands inside of baseball. This is 4th home run. By the way, back-to-back games for Victor Scott with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Don't forget about his 22 stolen bases and 10 outs above average. This game marked the first time in history that the Cardinals have swept the Guardians or the Cleveland baseball team. So Cleveland has now been swept by every single team in baseball, and they just got shut out for the 9th time. 9th time this year. It's not even the All-Star break. What even is that? Fun fact from Fuzzy coming up, even after losing 22-8 and now 5-1, the Rays still have a stupid plus 71 run differential. Baltimore, they got it going with the double from Ramon Laureano, who has a 145 OPS plus, just mind melting. How is he doing that? Colton Cowser has been an RBI machine. He's batting .310 with 11 RBIs his last 11 games. Jake Mangum, this is not the catch of the year, but it is a nice catch out there in left field to rob Cedric Mullins. Dean Kremer, I mean, I don't know if this was a strike or not because the strike zone graphic thingy wasn't there. But then he got Curtis Mead to chase, and he wasn't close to being done. Kobe Mayo, he takes daddy hacks. He's batting .305 with 5 extra base hits and 8 RBIs his last 10. Watch the heck out for the Orioles offense if this kid is figuring it out. The Orioles, they ran it up to 5 on a few sac flies, a Gary Sanchez RBI single, all while Dean Kremer, he allowed just 3 base hits across 7 scoreless. He had 6 punch outs. He's now only allowed 2 earned runs his last 3 starts combined. Now, the Rays almost had a 2-run home run off the bat of Danny Jansen, but Colton Cowser said no, and the whole crowd, they're mooing because, again, his name is Cowser, so they just like mooing. Brandon Lau, he did ruin the shutout with his 18th home run, but yeah, the Orioles, they take it. They're still 7 games back of a wild card, but what are their chances of making the postseason? 20%, 50-50, like a coin flip, or more than that? Same question for these next 2 teams that lost. Again, Boston first, then the Braves. Now, this isn't that bad of a pitch from Walker Buehler. It just shows how bad of a man Addison Barger is. He has 9 home runs and a 122 OPS plus. Okay, that's very bad. The only thing that Walker Buehler didn't serve was a plate of angel hair pasta for that meatball to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy had 1 measly little home run in his first 25 games. He has 11 home runs and a 390 on base in the 57 games since. He just turned 26 years old. He's 10 hits away from 1,000 and 7 doubles away from 200. That is just insane production. Carlos Narvaez, here we go. That's a pesky pole home run. Sadon, he tied it. Trevor Story comes around to score, but the Jays stole back the momentum. Andres might be breaking out. He was the worst hitter in baseball from the start of May to mid-June. He has 4 RBIs his last 3 games. Buehler, he just walked Heineman just with the bases loaded. That cannot happen. And Nathan Lucas, that's an RBI liner the other way. He makes it 5-2 Jays. Romy doubled in Sogard. The crowd kind of got back into it, but the Jays bullpen put a stop to that in a big way. 1 hit the final 4 2/3 as Jeff Hoffman, man, he was nasty. He struck out all 3 guys that he faced for his 18 saves, so he has 18 saves despite a 5 ERA. The Jays own the 2nd wildcard spot with a 45-38 record. The Red Sox are 3 games back of the final wildcard spot because they're now 41-44. So between Baltimore, Boston, and Atlanta, which of these 3 struggling teams do you think has the best chance to go on a tear and sneak into the playoffs? Sean Murphy, I mean, a few days ago, he had a 460-foot grand slam, and he basically went as far, 451 feet on that home run. Spencer Strider, he found his groove. At one point, he set down 10 in a row. It was snapped by my friend Bryson Stott. That set up a clutch double from the rookie Otto Kemp. He showed off the short, compact swing. He's just doing his job, not trying to do too much. He has 5 extra base hits and 10 RBIs his first 70-ish at bats. Brandon Marsh did his job. He bunted over Kemp for Trey, who then did his job. He lifted it, again, not trying to do too much. Kemp, he can score because he's way too fast. Ranger Suarez, this dude is so good at avoiding barrels. No, seriously, he's one of the best in baseball at avoiding hard contact. I want to show some of his 8 strikeouts over 7 innings because he can go slider or cutter up. I mean, look at those. And check out Matt Olson's first strikeout. He waved at it. He's shaking his head like, what am I doing? Later in the game, he waved at basically the same pitch. He's looking back like, what the? I'm pretty sure he said unbelievable, something like that. And Ranger, he's cracking up as he walked off the bump. Matt Strahm converted his 5th save. The Phillies, they're 1 win away from 50. The Braves are back down to 7 games under 500. Oh, this is a fun game. Yelich, I got to talk about Yelich's stats because he's been literal man amongst boys lately. German Marquez was sizzling. He worked his way through 5 clean innings when the Brew Crew uncorked on 2 baseballs. Sal has 5 home runs, Sal Frelick that is, and Yelich, he has a 12-game hit streak after hitting his 16th home run. That's also his 60th RBI. He's batting .374 with 34 RBIs and a .430 on base. His last 31 games, MV Yelly is back. Brenton Doyle is trying to salvage his nightmare season. He reworked his feet in the box, and so far it's working. That's his 2nd extra base hit with only 2 strikeouts his last 4 games, which is not a lot for Doyle standards. Orlando Arcia, he tied it versus his old team. That's only the 2nd home run allowed by Trevor McGill, who actually went back out there for the 10th inning. Collins, he ran it down, and shout out to Trevor for kind of cutting it off because maybe a run would have scored. I have no idea. Who knows if Hilliard would have tried and scored. He's pretty quick, but I mean, he didn't have to. Tyro, he makes it 3-2 on the RBI single. Wait, really? It's a wild pitch. 4 seconds later, reties it. That just extended the inevitable. The Rockies, they were scripted to win. I've said this before, but this game felt scripted, not gonna lie. Kyle Farmer, he played at the speedy Doyle. And yeah, the Brewers had a sick strike him out, throw him out as William Contreras. I mean, that's a buzzsaw throw off his knee. Tyler Kinley, he did lock in for his 3rd save. The Rockies take it in 11 innings. So that does it for today's MLB recap. I haven't asked this question in a while, but if you guys have any feedback for me about how to make MLB recap better, I feel like I'm really hitting my stride, but if I'm missing anything or if you guys want to see something else, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and enjoy the web gems.
High chopper starts things off. Dansby bare hand to first. What a play.
And Crawford shoots that out to left field. Osuna backpedals a few and now has to come in again.
Glaber right field deep. Castro makes the catch.
Headed up the middle. Diving play at short. How about Jared Triolo?
Loop shot into center. St. On charging. Dives. And he made the play. 0-2 is hit to right field. Here comes Barger.
Chisholm, foul ground, and able to make the catch.
Apparently good enough. He will bunt it. And a great bare hand stop there by Jackson. The throw to first in time.